The remains of the Neanderthal child were discovered at Devil's Tower in 1926. A century later, the Gibraltar National Museum has opened a new gallery dedicated to Flint. At its centre is a new image of the 4-year-old, created by leading paleo artist Mauricio Atón, offering what the museum describes as a new face of the Neanderthals. For the museum's managing director, Geraldine Phillinson, the gallery is about changing how people see Neanderthals and placing Gibraltar at the centre of that story.
We had to celebrate it. After all, it was probably one of the first children's skulls of a Neanderthal that had been found. You look at a skull and we look at the bones and all the features of the bones, and it can become very dry and it becomes an object. But when you get a forensic artist who's as skilled as Mauricio Antón, who can almost bring him to life, he puts flesh on the child. The adult teeth are still impacted in his jawbone. So we know that he'd lost his milk teeth, but the adult teeth hadn't come through. So he's got the gap tooth in the picture. So that all of a sudden it becomes a child, and we can all identify with that child. Somebody lost a child who was only 4 years old, and somebody mourned that child. And we are celebrating 100 years of having found their remains. Yeah. Seeing something like this will have, if you like, solidified the perception of Neanderthals as we see them today. But for a long time, Neanderthals were thought of as brutes. They were incapable of any kind of thought. And we now see that they even had the ability to convert a thought, which was an abstract thought, into a physical symbol that you can see, and that's the engraving that we found in Gorham's Cave. That we've come a long way with our idea of what Neanderthals were like.
What do you want people to take away with them after seeing the display?
You have to see it as a window into time. And museums, and certainly the Gibraltar Museum, is always evolving, is always changing. We always try and change the exhibits. You'll find that there are different things here to see, and we're evolving. And then interact with us, because we learn what the public are questioning, what the public are interested in, and then we adapt to it. This is not a static display. And at the end of the day, we're the custodians of the collection, but this is Gibraltar's museum.
The opening also carries wider significance for Gibraltar's heritage sector. It comes 10 years after the Gorham Cave complex was inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List, and during a year of events marking the centenary of Flint's discovery. Minister for Heritage, Professor John Cortés, says the new gallery reflects both Gibraltar's responsibility to preserve its past and its continuing role in international Neanderthal research.
It really has raised our profile internationally. This kind of recognition Gibraltar always strives for, and in the whole world of heritage, Gibraltar is now well known internationally, and I think that reflects very, very well. And whenever we get experts coming over to see the work that the museum is doing, they always celebrate that. And we've had a lot of support around the world for the work that we're doing on heritage in Gibraltar.